everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful springtime in Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
where we, a couple of crazy atheists, try to make sense out of religion and politics and current events here in these United States.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, cue the church bells.
Bing, bong, bing.
The Pope, the Pope's already dead. We knew that one. There's a new Pope.
The Pope is dead. Long live the Pope. And
there's no this is exciting. It's a historic new Pope.
Yeah,
Pope Leo XIV.
They done poped an American.
Yeah,
But you all know that, but you don't know what we're gonna say about it because we have unique takes. I hope.
Interesting.
I'm not sure about that.
Interesting insights.
Yeah. You believe me, you're gonna want to stick around for it.
It's why you listen, right?
I'll tell you this much. Trying to wade through all of the Pope articles to get to any news that wasn't Pope was a task this week.
It took a minute, but we did it for you guys so that you could get some news that's not the new Pope.
So I hope you're not entirely poped out, everybody, because we will be talking Pope, but not until the very end.
Yeah. All right. Well, first though, there's some stuff that happened, some news that you alluded to, including some news about Jim Bakker. Dan, do you remember Jim Bakker?
Oh, we love Jim Bakker.
Televangelist and convicted felon.
Yeah,
Jim Bakker.
I have a whole room in my house devoted to buckets of his food.
Yeah, he's
just bucket upon bucket of.
That's what he's turned into. Really, is just somebody who hawks survival goods, right?
Buckets of food
that
freeze
help
dried.
You know, it's always amazed me, right? The Christians sit around waiting for the end times with such glee, right?
Yeah.
With such anticipation, like, oh, it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful. And yet they have to buy buckets of food to get through it all. My God. This is nothing anybody would want to ever have to deal with, but they want it. Well, anyway, Jim Bakker, apparently his buckets just aren't bringing in enough money. He has asked his viewers to send him $1 million. Preferably 1,000 viewers donating $1,000 a piece.
Oh, okay.
Because that's probably the best way to get to that number in his mind.
Sure.
Because he says if he doesn't get this $1 million, he's going to have to shut down the whole ministry. And possibly Dan, be homeless. He said, if they foreclose on this ministry, they will take my house too. So I will be on the street, but I don't care. I've never been on the street. Yeah, but you've been in prison.
Yeah.
Dude. You've been there for 5 fucking years.
Oh my God.
Originally convicted for 45-year sentence that got knocked down to 8. And then he got released on parole for after 5 years for having defrauded his followers.
Yeah, because he's a fraudster.
It's all this man knows. It's literally he is a religious figure. He is a televangelist to make money. Yeah. Period. He believes in Jesus because Jesus makes him money. Anyway, yeah, he famously was building an amusement park back in the 80s that did open at one point, and it was the third most visited theme park in the United States in 1986 with 6 million visitors. Only Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California beat his attendance numbers. But he paid for the whole thing by selling these lifetime memberships to
timeshares.
They were timeshares, but that's what they were calling them, lifetime memberships, where you got 3 days, a 3-day stay at the resort there at Heritage USA
every year
for life.
Yeah.
And so you could go and just have the most righteous and holy special little vacation. Well, he sold like 150 some odd $1 million worth of these timeshares.
Yeah.
And didn't have anywhere near the facilities to keep all those people.
Which he fully knew.
Of course he knew.
Entirely aware.
He was funneling money off to himself, living a lavish lifestyle along with Tammy Faye Bakker, his wife.
Who, you'll note, we are not shitting on.
No. Tammy Faye is an interesting figure.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a complicated figure, but deep in her heart, I always felt like there was a decent human being in there. I think she was clueless as fuck.
That's almost undeniable.
She was clueless as fuck, though.
Right.
She had no idea what was going on around her or being done in her name. She had no idea that she was married to an absolute crook. Right. And just seemed to be salt of the earth, like old school country, Christian who just kind of, anyway. But Bakker then later, of course, had an affair with Jessica Hahn, famously. If those of you old enough to remember that name will remember it. Just a disaster of a human being is now pleading for $1 million. People, please let this guy have his comeuppance.
Right?
For realsies, at 85 years old.
No, here's the thing.
But it won't happen.
His people love him. He is not going anywhere.
They will keep showing up to his studio in Branson, Missouri, right? Isn't that where he's set up shop?
Oh, I don't know.
Branson. Branson, right?
I know about Branson.
I think that's where he has his little studio. He's one of, you can go see Donny Osmond on Tuesday night and go see Jim Bakker on Wednesday night.
I don't think Donnie's in Vegas.
Donnie's in Vegas?
It's the Osmond brothers.
Oh. Whoa.
Donnie and Marie were too big for Branson. It's the other boys that didn't quite hit the levels of fame.
Oh, well, anyway.
Can you name the Osmond brothers? I think it's Tito, Jermaine,
Michael.
I can't name all of them. But
and their sister. What's her bucket?
Latoya. Anyway, there you go.
All right.
He's a real piece of work.
He is a true, like, it is so transparent what a piece of shit he is.
Yeah.
Right. Like all these televangelists, like it's pretty obvious. With this guy, it's just undeniable, right? Like it's not just sitting there being like, he's
from the old school where you don't hide it. You just put it out there and say that it's good. You don't hide that you're a piece of shit. You just claim that being a piece of shit is a good thing.
Yeah. They somehow,
Like you say, hey, you guys need to buy me a goddamn plane. And then they're like, oh, I guess we need to buy you a plane.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to take us to New Jersey. It's a state in these United States. And there's a small town called Toms River, New Jersey. Sounds nice. It sounds like a nice town. And they want a new park. And so the town's zoning board and the town council have been getting together, planning this new park. Now, there's a reason this park is. I don't. It's so funny. I don't know how to attack this story because there's two stories happening at the same time on the same plot of land. One of those stories is Toms River getting a beautiful new park with pickleball courts and slides and playground for the kids. And it's just a nice place to take your family.
Yeah.
However, that lot is already occupied by a church.
Okay.
And that church has been asking the town council to let them build a homeless shelter. A small one, something like, 17 beds, I think, something like that.
Okay.
And the whole idea here is that the town is trying to build this park, and literally they are considering taking the church's land away as eminent domain.
Oh.
Rather than, like, this is NIMBY to the nth degree.
Not in my backyard.
Not in my backyard, motherfucker. This is
anti-development people. Yeah. Okay.
These are people who are so against housing the homeless that they want to fuck over a church to do it. They are so...
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No.
Like, of course, right? People hate homeless shelters. They hate them.
Oh, and yet it's the mayor of the town has been just saying the most appalling things.
Yeah.
Accusing the county of, quote, dumping homeless people in his town. He raised huge objections when the county allowed the county apparently had a county library, and they allowed a group called JBJ Soul Kitchen, which is they provide meals to the hungry, and the library put one of these in their library. JBJ, by the way, is John Bon Jovi, who apparently
really
okay, who apparently is doing this. That's very lovely of him. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're so mad because listen, you start feeding people and more homeless it's going to be a magnet drawing the homeless into their idyllic little town.
Oh no.
Of Shittsville, New Jersey.
Oh. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so funny because
so here's a church doing something good.
Right.
That we would be like, yeah, okay, fine. You're doing some good, right?
Yeah.
We have to give you some credit. You're not just being shit bags like normal. You're doing some good.
Yeah.
And and so
literally
we're on the side of the church. I love it when that's how these stories go down.
Well, and the amazing thing is that I'm certain that all of these people who are objecting so hard are Christian. Like it's like guaranteed. I know a few of them are because I read their quotes and whatever, but like these are Christian people who are willing to shut down a church rather than actually live what Jesus would say is a Christian life. You know what I mean? Like housing the homeless, feeding the hungry, those were pretty big bullet points on the Jesus agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
But not in our town. Do that somewhere else.
I'm all for homeless services, just not here.
Just
someplace else.
I give
Can we
money
maybe
to
like set up a camp somewhere?
Maybe like big cities.
Where put a nice fence around it to keep them safe.
Can't we send them to Hoboken?
Can't we put them on train cars?
Right.
And just ship them off to like a camp. What kind of camp? What could we call this camp?
You know what? I'll bet if you concentrate, you can figure it out.
Honest to God, though, like, what do you expect? Like, people have to be home. People have to have a place. Like, and it's hard. Like, it's hard to practice what you preach on this. And it really legitimately is. Because like we've got a little park right behind our house that people like to come and sleep in. Right. And my attitude with it, but the neighborhood also really uses the park. Right. Like it's kind of a de facto dog park because it's not really a park. It's one of those detention basins, right? Like it's not cute or pretty. It's just a hole in the ground with grass.
With a lot of grass.
With a lot of grass. And so it's great for dogs to come and just run around.
Yeah.
And so the neighborhood really uses it. And so my attitude is I'm not going to call and report every time I see somebody sleeping out in that park. But I will call and report the encampment, right? Which you can do immediately, right?
Yeah.
I give it a second night because I figure I don't want you living in the park. But if you need a place to sleep, I'm not going to like fucking like go after you. Right. And I know that like makes me a real humanitarian and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at the angel over here.
But that's the line that I draw of like, listen, like this is like, because when the encampments actually settle in, there's feces and trash, and it actually really is a bad scenario. But if people are just camping one night and moving along, fine. Right. Like, so these are incredibly hard issues, right? Like you don't want these issues in your neighborhood. Right.
The thing, here's the real trick.
But the thing is, if you were providing people with beds, then they're not sleeping in the park. Right. If you provide them with resources, maybe they have a way of getting of moving on to a better situation. Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, the thing that's so disappointing about this issue is that like the Christians of this nation are like all about Jesus's message until the rubber hits the road. There are like the solution for homelessness has been known for a while. We know what it is. Everybody knows what it is. It's just give them homes.
Yeah.
And we can totally afford to do it.
Yep.
And it's a way, and people actually like end up re-enfranchising back into society quicker.
Yeah.
And you take that huge pressure off of them, and suddenly like they don't need the drugs as much. They don't need the whatever they're using to cope with their difficult situation becomes better.
Yeah.
And like, then they have an address so they can actually get a job. And like all of the cascade of problems start to solve themselves when you just house them.
Yeah.
Give them their own place.
No questions asked.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
And then give them support.
Yeah.
And it actually costs less for the society.
Yeah.
But the thought to these people, to these very, very conservative Christian people, that someone could get housing and not work for it.
Yep.
And not have done anything for it. They just give them housing with my taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
Is so abhorrent to them that they'd rather pay more and have these people have shittier lives.
Yeah. Listen,
Than confront their own shitty attitude about it.
I know. It sucks. They suck.
They suck.
They suck. And I feel morally superior because I let people sleep in the park.
Can someone call the new pope and tell him about Saint Frank over here?
Saint Frank of Salt Lake City. Yeah.
Can someone please put in a call to Leo?
Well, here's a real saint in need of being sainted. A piece of shit human being by the name of Shiloh Hendricks. Let's see. What did she do? She was at the park with her small child, like a little 5-year-old-ish child. And there was another 5-year-old child running around, maybe younger than that. These were little kids because there's a diaper bag involved. And she claimed that this other child in the park had stolen something from her child's diaper bag. So she decides to go after the article confirms it's a 5-year-old who's apparently this child is said to have autism, right?
Oh, fun. That's a fun element to add to the
so she
already stupidness.
She decides that she's going to take matters into her own hands and start flinging racial slurs at this child. Of course, a bystander gets out their phone, films the whole thing, posts it online of her being a complete shitbag. And
to a 5-year-old.
And it goes viral. And she feels like now she's the victim here.
Yeah.
And she goes to a website called Give, Send, Go, which is a platform that is, it's a crowdfunding platform. It's like a Christian crowdfunding platform. So when Christians misbehave out in public, they have resources to like raise money for themselves. I think it's also like somebody like breaks their leg and can't handle, you know, needs some little financial support. They can like ask for money, whatever, right? Well, anyway, she goes on. She puts a goal of $1 million to defend herself and her family, protect her family. She has, I just checked, raised $760,000.
My fucking God.
These Christian shitbags are coming out in support of this racist, horrible human being, right?
Like, look, if you call an adult racial slurs, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
If you're yelling racial slurs at a 5-year-old child, it's beyond piece of shit.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that the white supremacists will step up.
Yeah. Well, and let me tell you, this article, they talked to one of the founders of Give, Send, Go, which was founded back in 2015. As I said, as a sort of a Christian crowdfunding thing. He says, our mission is to share the hope of Jesus through crowdfunding. All right, whatever. And he says that the platform was created to provide support for people, even when their stories are difficult, controversial, or unpopular. He says, quote, cancellation isn't the way to move the narrative forward. It's actually the diversity of the ideas, even toxic, hard ones we have to deal with. They bring the issue to the story, to the front. And then culture can start to wrestle with them in the open where they should be. He also commented that they've shut down the comment feature from Hendricks's campaign because it got a little too spicy. Apparently.
Really? Shocking.
Yeah.
Why would that have happened?
But I love that just within sentences of saying that they're all for First Amendment, no matter what the horrors of that these people are saying. Well, this one got a little out of hand, so we had to shut it down. But let me tell you what they're not shutting down is the shit bag that they're going to be making, I don't know, 5, 10, 15% commission off of. I don't know how much of that $760,000 is going to them.
Right.
But you know, a whole number percentage, probably a double-digit one, is going to that company. And yeah, they're not shutting that down at all.
No.
Even though, what is she raising money for?
Right. She's not being sued.
No, not. Yeah, no.
She should
be. There should be some sort of penalty for this, but no, she's getting paid for her racist rant at a 5-year-old.
Okay, here's what. This is what my reaction is. Dear listeners, I am going to start a GoFundMe, and when it hits $700,000, I promise you, I will find racist people, trick them into saying something racist. I'll pretend I'm racist myself. And when they do, I will punch them in the face on camera.
So you can turn around and give them the money in some sort of settlement.
I'm not going to, well, no, I will have it's my defense fund. It's my legal defense fund.
Good. All right.
So yeah, look for that coming out soon. Because I'm ready to punch me some Nazis.
It's the punch a Christian.
Oh, can that be like a carnival game or something? There's like the dunk tank, and then there's like you pay $5, and then you can just clock a Christian.
You dress one of those like those boxing dummy things or kickboxing dummies. It's just like a torso on a stand.
Yeah.
Like just dress that up in like Christian garb.
Yeah, put a MAGA hat on top.
Or just like a trad wife dress on it or something.
Oh, yeah.
Although that's violence toward women, probably not good. But yeah, put like a MAGA hat on it.
A Karen wig or something. And oh, okay.
Come punch a Christian. $5. Punch a Christian.
I'm going to do that at the next...
We'll raise
at Gay Pride, I'm going to get a booth.
And we'll raise money for homelessness services.
Oh, I love it.
$5 punch a Christian.
Oh, why didn't we think of this in time? Pride Month is next month. There's no time. Lord help us. There's no time. All right.
I mean, you would not get away with it if you called it punch a Christian, but if you just had it be punch a MAGA,
yeah,
they would absolutely let you do it.
Or punch a white supremacist or whatever.
Yeah. Punch a white supremacist.
Oh, it'd be good. It'd be good.
$5 for homeless services. Oh, I love it. That's so good.
I mean, we wouldn't say punch a Christian, but they definitely have a cross around their neck. Like 100%. Okay. I'm going to take us to Texas, where the Texas, look, we've talked a lot about different states here in these United States, all, the most Christian red states, trying to one up each other by passing laws not laws, but resolutions saying Christ is king, or, acknowledging that Jesus owns our genitals, or what, I don't know, whatever it is. Most of them have failed to pass. But I'm just going to report on another one. This, thanks to Eminent Meta for pointing this one out. This is the House Concurrent Resolution number 59 over there in Texas.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll just read some of it for you.
Okay. Good. Cool. I love a good resolution.
Yeah. And let's just keep in mind that...
Are there some good whereases?
Oh,
Dan?
It's all whereases. It's whereases all the way down. And I will repeat my objection to that. It's a stupid wording. All right. Whereas... God keeps his promises, and the Lord your God is God and is faithful to keep his promises for all time to come. How's that for some writing?
Yeah, that's really good.
That is literally like, did that person pass 6th grade? Who wrote this? These are the people you're electing to your leadership, Texas. What are you doing?
I mean, it matched the quality of the writing in like the Book of Mormon. So
no, I think Book of Mormon might be better than that. The Lord God is God and is faithful to God. It's like God promises.
Yeah.
Which I think is a Duran Duran song, isn't it? Anyway, the promises of the promises of God are stated thusly in the Gospel of John, quote, "And I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall anyone snatch them out of my hand," end quote. Which, by the way, like, okay, show me someone who has eternal life. Also, you all perish. They all perish. We all die. Right, everyone dies.
Okay, yeah.
So objection number 2. And whereas God has given to us his great and precious promises of love, hope, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, wisdom, and strength to sustain us through the life he has given us, which, by the way, how many Christians do you know that embody any, let alone all, of those descriptors? Love, hope, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, wisdom. And I know a few.
I mean, you can definitely quibble with a lot of those. Other ones are just...
Some are fine.
Yeah, there's
they can
Christians
be very
out there that are like that. Fine.
I don't know any. The most prominent ones that I can think of, I would not ascribe peace to them. Anyway. And whereas God gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases strength.
I don't think they even believe that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Like literally let's go to, the poor Christian parts of Texas and ask how powerful they feel. I mean, who knows? All they have to do is call a child a slur and they could be rich. Whereas be strong and courageous, do not be afraid because of them. Whereas be strong and courageous. What are you talking about? That it's not in quotes, by the way. This part is not in quotes. It's just another part. Whereas, but so anyway, whereas be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. And whereas the promise of God is his word, which is revelation from him.
Oh my God.
Showing this is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read all of it.
Yeah, thank you, because I'm growing weary.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is, anyway, it gets to resolved that the 89th legislature of the state of Texas hereby designate April as Promise Month. And be it further resolved that in accordance with the provisions of section blah, 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 this designation remain in effect until the 10th anniversary of the date this resolution is finally passed by the legislature.
Wow.
What the fuck does I couldn't imagine a more meaningless waste of legislative time.
What did they call it? Pride Month? What did they call it?
Promise
Month. Clearly they feel like the gays get a month, so Christians need one too. Is that what's going on?
But
there?
they can't call it Christian Month,
right.
So they're going to just assume that they speak for everyone when they say God keeps his promises, and then
but the stupid resolution is filled with like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they've defined what this Promise Month is all about in this resolution, and it is Christian as fuck.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're. Anyway, great. Christians need they need a month too, Dan.
They do. They need.
They
their own.
really do. Poor Christians.
Here's what's fun. One thing that they don't realize is that it's not like the gays stood around They waited for the legislature to pass a resolution saying that, June is Pride Month. They just took it.
Right.
You can just take it. You can just yourselves declare without any government involved.
Yeah.
Hey, April's Christian Promises Month.
Here's
April is Naked Eyes Promises the Song Month. Whatever you want.
Here's how I know that this is not needed. Right. Mm-hmm. Christians don't need their own month.
No.
Is because it wasn't a bunch of gay legislators passing a resolution that made June Pride Month.
Yeah.
It wasn't the people in power that made it Pride Month.
Yeah.
A bunch of Christians standing around and declaring anything to be Christian is the most ludicrous thing in the world, because it is the thing that they clearly don't need because they are the people in power.
Right.
Like, they're so fucking stupid. Sorry, I'm pissed off.
As well you should be.
I don't know if you can hear my desk falling apart.
I feel like we can hear your soul falling apart.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it drives me fucking nuts. These people are so stupid and so petty and small and
100%. They are literally all of those things.
Anyway, I did not expect that story to push my fucking buttons, Dan.
Yeah.
But it sure as hell did.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm a little worked up.
That's okay. We're just use it.
Okay.
Just bring it into the next thing.
Well, I'm going to talk about some idolatry, Dan.
Ooh, I love a good idolatry.
In fact, it's even gold plated. How's that for you? If this doesn't reek of the golden calf, right? I don't know what does. Televangelist Mark Barkley. Do you know who that is, Mark Barkley?
No, can I call him Bark Markley?
Sure, you can call him whatever you want. He is a piece of another. Wow, I'm really okay. He's a televangelist who recently put in charge at his church. He put like a child molester in charge of like the youth programs or something.
Oh, yeah, sure, like
and sort of knowingly did that, right? It wasn't like he didn't know and then it turns out the guy's a child molester. No, he kind of knew going into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy's he's not the good kind of Christian that we were just talking about.
Yeah, we've been talking about a lot of really good Christians so far on the show.
Anyway, he was visiting a Wisconsin church that decided they were going to give him a special gift. So they made a big to do of this. Oh, they're so happy to have him visiting and everything. They gave him a gold-plated AR-15.
Oh my God.
With a quote engraved into it that says "Fight, fight, fight." That's Donald Trump's quote, right? When he got shot in his ear, right? And he stood up and he said, "Fight, fight, fight." So they engraved that onto the AR-15 as well as the presidential insignia. I don't know if they are authorized to be putting that on anything, but they did. Boy, what an honor. So they give it to him. It's the dumbest looking thing in the world because it's just like, and as like a spokesperson for his ministries or whatnot, tried to point out that it quit calling it gold plated. He was given a gold painted AR-15.
Oh my God, I love it.
Because they know how bad this looks, right? So they're trying to back off a little bit. No, it's not literally gold, but this article just keeps calling it gold plated in quotes. Every time it comes up, it's gold plated.
Oh my God.
Which I kind of have to appreciate. Anyway, and he's just so fucking honored and he just loves it. And they're doing the dumb little, pastor thing up on the stage of, oh man, this is like the best AR-15 I've ever seen. I love it so much. And the other pastor who gave it to him is like, I know we're going to have to be preaching against covetousness or whatever.
Right. Cause I want that.
I want it. And there's like 5 pastors over here who also want it. And it's just like so amazing. And it's like, oh, these people, right? Because the intersection here of like, I'm saying, what the fuck is an AR-15, a gold-plated AR-15 doing in church?
Yeah.
Right? Like, these are things that shoot up churches. Right?
Yeah, these are things like they are designed only. They have a single reason for existing.
Yeah.
And that is the killing of another human being. These are not good hunting rifles. These are not good. Like the only thing they're good for is killing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's just this disgusting gesture, right? And then like the whole Trump, quote graven into it. And it's just like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, you people are so lost. You're just, You're just out in the woods and you're lost and you have no clue where your religion is anymore. You have no idea.
Where is that? Did you guys misplace Christianity? I can't find it. Where is that thing?
It feels like they have misplaced it.
Yeah.
It feels like they need to be checking some lost and founds and trying to figure out where the fuck their religion went, because it ain't at their churches anymore.
No. Oh, God. Anyway, AR-15s are fun. That's great. And he's got one that makes him look even more like an asshole. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to close this off with a weird series of statistics from the Southern Baptist Convention.
Okay.
So this is the Southern Baptist Convention. They put out numbers for their membership.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that their numbers have been dropping steadily since about 2006. So basically, they peaked somewhere around 2006 at about 16 million, a little over 16 million members.
Okay.
And then it's been falling. And it continues to fall. They've lost since then something like 3.6 million members.
Wow.
And this last year, or rather I think it's 2024, they lost like it's pretty staggering, like 260,000 members.
My God. All right.
They've lost. Here's the weird thing, though. Baptisms are going up. Baptisms are up, and church attendance is going up. So the people who are staying are actually the ones who go to church,
right?
Not just the ones who, just sort of casually say, well, I'm a Baptist, I guess, or whatever. So people are actively leaving. They're not just sort of, not stopping going to church.
Right.
There are people actively leaving the faith, which I think is crazy. Baptisms, obviously dropped off the face of the earth when COVID hit, but they had been dropping steadily since like 1999. And now they're up again to, pre-COVID levels, immediately pre-COVID levels. Anyway, but the fact is that they're losing members. They've been hemorrhaging since the early aughts, and now they're down to a 50-year low.
Wow.
They're about the same as they were in 75.
That's remarkable.
That's great. I just wanted to feel real good about that, and I think everybody else should feel real good about that, because we don't need Baptists. We don't need them. There are some nice ones, and then there are some horrible ones, and I don't need any of them.
Well, there you go.
So,
all right.
There you go. If you would like to chime in about Baptists or about Frank losing his mind or any of the things that we've talked about, please feel free to do so. podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around. There's more show coming up.
Well, Frank, we've had some folks write into us and call into us, so let's get to it. Gord wrote in to say that, and this is a lovely thing. Gord says, that was a good episode. I'd love to hear more from Frank's hubby.
Oh,
maybe a three-way. Anyway, thank you so much to Dave for filling in. Really appreciate that.
yeah. No, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
And you might hear more from Dave because
it's not without some serious arm twisting.
Well,
like he does not like it, but
but the people are calling for it
when necessary. It seems like it can happen, but I would not expect it to be a regular occurrence.
Well, the people have spoken.
He's not my stand. He can't. I can't rely on him as my standby.
I assume that your marital happiness does take precedent over the requests of Gord and others.
But I appreciate the sentiment because, and I told him, I was like, we actually got some good feedback about you, and he was like, oh, all right.
He's such a grump. Okay. We also had, I don't think this one was signed, but this says, hello, lovely humans. I was listening to the most recent show, and there was a listener that wrote in, and so this person is referencing the show before last, the one that was me and you, not the one with Dave. Anyway, there was a listener that wrote in and shared that they were an active Mormon. I wanted to say hi because I'm also an active member.
What?
I started to wonder how many Mormon listeners y'all have. I'm wondering that too now. What is happening? Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
I'm worried about. I mean, I think it's awesome.
We're not exactly the meanest about the Mormons, but we don't hold back.
Yeah, and when I was a Mormon, we were taught very distinctly: don't listen to the anti-Mormons. Don't listen to the non-Mormons. They're evil or whatever.
Yeah.
So these people have been able to see through all of that to the wonders and beauty that is Frank and Dan. So I think that's great. This one says, by the way, I think it's a she. She says, I grew up in Oklahoma, right around Fort Gibson and Muskogee.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then I met an LDS guy online and ended up moving to Utah, living together for a couple years. Yes, I know,
Wow.
scandalous. And marrying him, and then eventually was baptized.
Huh.
I will second most of what was said by the other listener when it comes to criticism of the church. I have complicated feelings, if we are being honest. I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church, and the LDS church is very similar. Yeah, that's basically a lateral move. You just moved sideways one. and that meant that you had to move your Sabbath one day over as well. Anyway, just wanted to say hi. I think that's amazing. Hi to all of our believing listeners. Apparently more than 2 of you, or 2 or more.
Yeah, possibly more. This might be the 2.
Might be
the 2
you never can
Mormon
tell.
listeners.
But
I'd
yes,
love to hear if there's a 3rd.
You are welcome here.
Yeah.
By the way, you may not like it, but you're welcome here. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
We have a voicemail.
We do. This is a listener with a story about listening to the show.
Okay.
Hi, Frank and Dan. It's Autumn in Ohio. I actually was just sitting at my table doing some work for the day, and of course, the front door has glass on it, and people can see inside that I'm here. That's important because as I'm listening to your podcast, I see somebody knocking on the door. They see me. I go answer it, and a woman says, "Hey, I am here to actually read you some scripture. Are you interested?" And I was like, "I am not religious, but thanks for asking. Have a good day." And she was nice. She walked away. Hilariously, I have no idea if she could hear the podcast that I was listening to through the glass door. So thanks for what you guys do. You're awesome. So grateful for all of the work that you put in to those of us who don't agree with religion. So thanks so much and have a good one.
I hope we were saying the worst thing about Christianity.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One can only hope.
I hope it was one of those moments
where we were just being horrible shits. Yeah. I hope that too. But also now I'm kind of tempted to say I need to have some scriptures at the ready so that I don't think this will happen in Salt Lake City. This is not the kind of thing that happens here in Salt Lake. But if anybody ever came to, this is for all of you then. If someone comes to your door and says, "I'm here to share some scripture with you," just say, "Me first," and have a few things at the ready, and share some scripture with them, and be like, "What do you think about that? Why is that a thing?"
Right. There you go.
Yeah, there's
me first.
There's several stories and scriptures that are horrifying. So just read those to them and then stare at them.
You're like, I want a response.
Yeah.
How do you justify this?
And the Lord said unto them, "You must sacrifice your firstborn son to me." What about that?
Yeah. Oh, they'll have an answer, Dan.
No, you just stare at him and just wait. If someone ever is able to do that, write into us and let us know how it goes, because that's what I want to hear about. But thanks also very much to our listener for that story, because that's
for
delightful.
Also being a nice and polite human being and just saying no thank you.
Yeah,
that is a way to do it too, Dan.
Yeah,
but it's also acceptable. You don't have to. You don't have to always, own the Christians.
You can also just invite them in and play them our podcast. You could do that.
Hey, I'm listening to my favorite podcast. You should come in.
Come in. I'll let you read your scripture in just a second. I just got to finish this part of this podcast. So just come in for a second. I'll let you read your scripture. Let me just finish this segment of the show. All right. This is finally, we got a couple more emails. Hi guys. This is from Kate in Seattle, who says, in a recent episode, you mentioned wanting to create our own vision of the stupid no step on snake flag. They don't tread on me flag right wingers are obsessed with. I thought I should let you know that the gluten intolerant community beat you to the punch. See attached photo for one of my favorite shirts. And it was a shirt that said, "Don't bread on me." So that's
Yeah.
one of them. Mike then also said, we were talking about that. No, don't tread on me flag. Mike said, I was listening to the podcast about the flags and trying to come up with a flag design for the don't tread on me flag. I instantly thought someone could make a flag with the same yellow that has snakeskin boots on it. And it says something like free to tread or tread your own path. Something like that. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Speaking of flags, how did we skip the story? Okay, update. I'm just going to do the quick update because we missed it.
Well, no, there are multiple emails about it. I thought that's where we would be.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, I thought I was going to do it as a story, and then I spaced it.
Shit, Dan.
So, just so that y'all know, so we talked about how Utah passed you can't put a gay pride flag into the classrooms or on any government property. So say we all grumpa.
Right, but they didn't go at it from a prohibition perspective. They said you can only fly official flags.
Right.
And they don't have to be even Utah specific flags, right? But they have to be an official flag. You can fly a real, a city's flag or a state's flag as long as it's for real.
Or a country's flag.
Or a country's flag. As long as it's for real, that's fine.
And so this week, the Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall, and I think Boise's mayor did the same thing, but Salt Lake City's mayor announced 4 official Salt Lake City flags.
Yeah.
Each of them with a little sago lily, which is a little flower that is important to it's a state flower.
Right, but it's on the city flag.
It's on the city flag. Yeah. So there's a pride flag that just has a sago lily on it. There is a trans flag that has a sago lily on it. There is a Juneteenth flag that has a sago lily on it. It is priceless.
Yeah.
So good.
Yep.
What's the 4th one? There's a 4th one.
The real flag itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So those are now all official city flags. This was a loophole that you could drive a truck through, and they drove it. And I think that's fantastic.
It was a loophole I saw within 30 seconds of hearing about that law. Right.
Right.
So
we didn't know if anybody was going to do it.
Yeah.
We didn't it's an obvious loophole, but someone has to actually take the action for it to work. Yeah. And they did. And that's fantastic.
Yeah. Good for them.
All right. Well, we have some folks to thank, and I'm going to start us off with Nathan, who is a deacon in our priesthood. Thank you so much, Nathan. That's amazing, and we sure do appreciate that.
Indeed. We also have a bunch of new patrons over on Patreon.
Wonderful.
4 new teachers. We have Renee. There's Jordan, Lloyd, and Sabrina.
Amazing. Thank you all so much.
Fantastic. We also have a new priest by the name of Chunky Cat.
Oh,
and
wonderful. You got to love giving priesthood to a Chunky Cat.
Yeah. And continuing with the cat theme, Dan, we have a new patriarch by the name of Cat Quarantine.
Oh my God.
So
imagine this. Patriarchs, by the way, don't just get magic powers, they get psychic powers. So that's amazing. Congratulations on that. Yeah.
So thank you so much to all of you for supporting the show. If you'd like to join them, you can go to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/donate. And there's options there. You can do PayPal, you can do Patreon. And, also a reminder, you can also give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you listen to us on.
Yeah.
And as always, Dan, we have our top donor to thank, our Lord and Savior, Davis.
More show coming up. All right, Frank, let's do it. It's the Pope. It's Pope time.
Yeah.
We're poping. It's all Pope all the time.
Yeah. All American Pope all the time.
Oh my God.
When I heard it, all I texted to you was you have to eat your words now. Because you were emphatic You were like super pro. It's probably going to be an Italian, and there's no fucking way it'll be an American. Which, to be fair, that's pretty much what everybody thought.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is you texted me, "Ha, you were wrong, whatever you said," and I was like, "What did I say though?" Because I say a bunch of shit and don't remember it.
Well,
but no, I did predict that it would be a European. I was almost certain it was going to be a European. I was almost certain it was going to be a middle of the road, don't ruffle any feathers politically candidate.
Sure.
And them feathers done got ruffled. You and I were talking about like sort of when we heard and all that sort of stuff. And my story is that, I heard that the white smoke had gone up. They announced who it was. I heard it was an American, and I was, blown away by that. And then I was like, you know what, though? I don't want any coverage for a minute while they scramble to try and come up with any kind of thing that they can think of. First of all, I had to deal with my own disappointment that it wasn't Pizza Balla. Because if you have a cardinal whose name is Pizza Balla and you don't pope that man, what an opportunity missed. Now I guess we have a deep dish Pizza Balla because he's from Chicago. Anywho, the thing that happens is that you get a new pope and you're like, okay, but what clues do we have about what direction this pope is going to go?
Yeah.
And I realized very quickly that I didn't want to hear from the liberal media about this. I wanted to hear from MAGA about this. And boy, did they not disappoint. It was, they lost their goddamn minds, and it was delightful.
Oh my God. Like what? Like
Laura Loomer tweeted about the woke Marxist Pope.
Oh my God. How delusional are these people? Like,
yeah, right.
Like first of all, and we were talking about this before, but like the whole casting of these people is like conservatives and liberals, right? These cardinals,
right?
There's the part of this. He's a liberal cardinal, blah blah blah.
right.
At best, a liberal cardinal is like center right.
Yeah,
on the actual political spectrum, right? Like we're not talking about liberals or
they're
like
still
real
Catholics,
progressives,
for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
they're not. Yeah, these are not liberal people.
So woke and Marxist. Like what an absurd human being, right?
Yeah.
To like utter that. Like that's
in another
stupid.
post, Laura Loomer wrote that it was just another Marxist puppet in the Vatican, and Catholics don't have anything good to look forward to.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love it.
Idiot.
Like literally MAGA is losing their minds over this Pope. And that's
amazing.
Is
like
that he was chosen as a rebuke of MAGA.
Yeah.
Like that, like
yeah, fair enough.
The only reason you choose A, an American, and B, an American who has gently criticized the current administration. I mean, it's not like he was in the most unwavering and committed terms flatly rebuking them, but he was like gently criticizing,
Yeah.
Well, technically, J.D. Vance is wrong and we should be nice to people. You know what I mean? Like it was that kind of a thing. And like sort of in favor of what's his name that was sent to El Salvador.
Right.
His name's not coming to me.
Yeah,
you guys all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, like these are not these are not controversial takes, or they shouldn't be, but they are definitely like not in favor of the current administration, and that's enough to freak out a bunch of people.
I mean, did they really think that like the Hungarian guy was going to be like the next pope? I mean, I'm sure that's where they had their money, right? That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Some crazy right winger.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, that's the thing. Like, while the liberals are maybe center right at best. The conservative cardinals are. These you don't want these people coming over for Thanksgiving dinner.
No, they are off the deep end. They are like on the scale of liberal to conservative. They're past conservative into whatever's on the other side of that.
Fucking lunatics. Yeah.
They are fucking lunatics.
Yeah.
Fascist nutballs.
Yeah.
So I mean, so it's funny that we get an American pope, but one that so many of the conservative Christians of America, I mean, and let's face it, half of the Christians of America think the Pope's the Antichrist anyway. Just as a point of order to them.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very interesting sign for what the current College of Cardinals will tolerate.
Yeah.
It may be that real change is possible? ? Am I saying that? It doesn't feel like I should be saying that, but I feel like I'm kind of saying that.
Like, what kind of change are you imagining? Right? Like because he had in his record are comments about sort of not very nice comments about, homosexuals. Right. He's already come out and talked negatively about de facto atheists. Right. Which is great. We call them nuns. I guess that's difficult for him to use that. It'd be very confusing.
It's a homophone with another kind of thing. That's
so de facto atheist, I guess we can credit Leo XIV as coining probably what we should have been saying the whole time. But yeah, like he's not like Francis was so much more like, I don't know. Although careful. Francis had a little bit more careful with that kind of stuff. But I mean, I did notice that the anti-homosexual quote is from like 2012. Not that I expect this guy to have evolved much on the issue, but society has continued to evolve on the issue. Who knows where his head is now today? I'm not hopeful. I think he's a Catholic Pope, right? Like he doesn't really like gay people, and he doesn't like birth control, and he hates abortion, and
we'll see. I'm not even just talking about him. I am talking about a college of cardinals that I assumed were hungry to get away from sort of liberal activism within the papacy.
Yeah.
And they seem to have reelected it. Now, liberal activism on a conservative Catholic scale, yes.
Right.
And so like we have said many times that Francis was largely all talk, and even a lot of his talk was not great.
Right.
But he was saying things that was still pissing a lot of people off. So I don't know. I feel like it's fascinating. I feel like we've got another 20 years probably, or 10 to 15 to 20 years of a pope who's going to be the one choosing who gets to be a cardinal going forward.
Well, that's how this happened, right?
And
Francis picked like 80% of the current cardinals,
right?
And everybody's surprised that a Francis-ish character would come forward,
right?
As the next pope. Like it feels like he orchestrated that, right? Like Francis was like trying clearly to set up his legacy a little bit there.
Yeah,
right?
And it doesn't seem like that's going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that this pope will do big things. I'm not saying this pope will, advance the cause of women in the church, but he might. I'm not saying that this pope will, but I am saying that like there seems to be a shift happening. There seems to be a bit of a sea change going on, a holy sea change, if you will. and I don't know what it is, and I'm not predicting anything. And frankly, I'd rather there not be a Catholic Church.
Sure.
But there's going to be one.
Yeah.
And since there's going to be one, and it's going to be huge for a long time.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some changes.
You'd rather be a kinder organization.
I would like them to be
kinder, more accepting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a fair thing to want as an observer, as a non-believer, right?
Yeah.
Because you're right. I mean, just realistically, they're not going anywhere. But I mean, you said something a second ago that I kind of want to loop back around to, which is that one of the big criticisms of Francis is that he was just kind of all talk on these issues, right? And but I read a couple, little stories or people recounting how those words softened like from queer people, from queer Catholics. How those words softened their loved ones' attitudes toward them, even though the church didn't have full acceptance or even partial acceptance of queer folk. That Francis just being nicer, just toning down the rhetoric, that can have real world effects,
massive real world effects,
and
it can mean that it could save a life.
Yeah, and you mentioned how big this organization is. It's a 1.2 billion members or something like that. There's 1.2 billion Catholics in the world. Like, that is an incredibly big ship to steer, a giant, complicated ship to steer, right? And it's probably going to start with kind words, softer words, right? Yeah. And so, like, yeah, Francis didn't get it done, right? But he was never going to get it done, right? And this guy, like, there's also the stories coming out about, some priests that he maybe protected who were abusers, right? Child sex abusers. But, and that's not really a but the thing that I would like to point out is who in that room didn't protect a child sex abuser. Like, this is just going to be the criticism of whatever pope they pick. And I hate to say that because it sounds like I'm being an apologist, but that's just the reality, folks.
Yeah.
Like,
the pool that you have to draw from.
This is actually a criticism of that organization and their complete abject failure to protect children because they feel like they have to protect their priests. Yeah. Right. And so, that's what you get, right? And and so I guess that's all. It's also a reminder that is also what you get with a pope, right? Yeah. And any leadership in the Catholic Church that was one of Francis's great failures, was that he did not fully address child sex abuse. Yeah. By the clergy, right?
And maybe this guy will do something more. Who knows? I mean, Francis took some steps, and also that was the big criticism of his papacy. And so, like, I feel like since we're moving along a trajectory, maybe some shit will happen. Maybe a few things will happen. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. I will say this, in some of the articles that I read, they were talking about, like, Pope Francis, when in surveys, U.S. Catholics broadly supported Pope Francis at 78% of those surveyed viewed him favorably. And it's like, they're allowed to not view the Pope favorably? Why are we? I don't think you're allowed to. I think you got to you got to roll with it, whatever it is.
I don't know. But I mean, that's also really kind of good news, right? That, like, somebody who was seen as being kinder, right, in that position than a lot of his predecessors, than like all of his predecessors had been, that resonated, right? Yeah. That his personality, who he was, resonated. Why wouldn't they want somebody else like that, right? if that level of like favorability, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
And that seems like a good thing. They should
and
be
what and what we
they should
all
take
should
that
be hoping.
as a message of like where they should be taking the organization. Right?
Yeah. And frankly, what we all should be hoping for is that this Pope steers them like I hate the Catholic Church, but if you can influence a billion people,
right,
that you have direct influence over, and then that has ripple effects through the rest of the population.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Fucking influence.
Yeah.
And influence for good. And
yeah.
If I were a praying man, I would be begging God to guide this Chicago dude to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And make that organization less harmful to the people, especially the children that it has contact with.
Because literally doing 2% less harm would have a massive impact.
Yeah, it would. But let's shoot for a little bit more than that.
I think we can. Yes, we can. All right, friends. Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to chime in about the Pope or anything else in the world, feel free to write into us podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. We'd love to hear from you. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
To support the show, go to thankgodimatheist.com/donate.
This episode was edited by Roger Gowdy, and music was provided by the Red Rock Hot Club and Gordon Johnston.
Hey, thanks so much to all y'all for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank God I'm Atheist is a production of TGIA Media, LLC, copyright 2025, all rights reserved.